Welcome back to another episode of Rock Boys Football. Some massive news coming late Tuesday night as Kadyn Proctor expected to enter the transfer portal and expected to wind up back with Alabama heading into the 2024 season. And this is massive news for Alabama. You start taking a look at some of the big questions that we had for this Alabama team heading into 2024. One of those questions were the tackle play heading into 2024, having to replace potentially two-year starting tackles in Kadyn Proctor and J.C. Latham. Now you look towards 2024, you get Kadyn Proctor back, you have Elijah Pritchett on this roster. This tackle position was a question mark a couple of weeks ago for this Alabama program. Now it's looking like one of the strengths of this program heading into 2024. Want to get into Kadyn Proctor, get into what Kalen DeBoer has done since taking over this Alabama program. Extremely excited to get into this one. Before we do, and as always, just want to say thank you to you guys and a massive shout out to the Alabama fans. This has been a program that since Kalen DeBoer has taken over, truly has been a blast to talk about. Cannot thank you guys enough for rocking with the fellas. If y'all do enjoy the content, consider subscribing to the channel. And without further ado, let's get into this one. And I want to highlight just how good of a job Kalen DeBoer has done since taking over this Alabama program. We had really two massive questions for Kalen DeBoer as he took over Alabama. The one question was, can he keep all this talent on this Alabama roster heading into 2024? And yes, you lost some guys like Caleb Downs, like Isaiah Bond, like guys like Julian Sayin, but a large quantity of this Alabama talent has decided to stay with this program, and that's massive for this Alabama team. We've already went over it. This is one of the most talented teams in all of college football heading into 2024, and Kalen DeBoer has done a great job keeping it that way. And I think Kadyn Proctor returning to Alabama really just signifies how good of a job Kalen DeBoer has done keeping this talent. Then the second question we had was, can he get it done on the recruiting trail? And we've been covering Alabama extensively on the recruiting trail over the last couple of weeks. I think we're getting our answer in terms of what Kalen DeBoer can do on the recruiting trail with this Alabama program. Now, getting into Kadyn Proctor, I want to highlight how special I think Kadyn Proctor can be, not only in 2024, but in 2025 as well. A lot of people want to get on the message boards and get on Twitter and drag Kadyn Proctor for maybe having some growing pains early in that 2023 campaign. And I'm not going to say there weren't some growing pains because we all certainly saw it, but the progressions that you saw Kadyn Proctor make, you take a look at that Georgia film in the SEC championship game. That's one of the better tackle plays that we've seen all year from Kadyn Proctor. And I think a lot of Alabama fans probably recognize that. One, it is extremely rare to see true freshmen come in and start day one at that left tackle position in the SEC. Kadyn Proctor did that, but more importantly, showed significant growth and development during that 2023 year. And I think a lot of Alabama fans would probably agree with this. You're looking at a future, potentially top 10 NFL draft pick, All-American caliber tackle. And I think you look at this Alabama team heading into 2024, one of our bigger question marks was this offensive tackle position. Right, you lose Kadyn Proctor, you lose J.C. Latham. Now you're only losing one of those guys in J.C. Latham, and you have Kadyn Proctor, Elijah Pritchett coming back. This is suddenly looking like one of the better tackle duos, not only in the SEC, but in the country. Massive get back for Alabama, and you start taking a look at what this offensive line is going to look like in 2024. I mean, Kadyn Proctor probably filling right in, back in at that left tackle spot. You're looking at potentially the best left side of an offensive line in all of college football with Tyler Booker and Kadyn Proctor. You get Parker Brailsford coming from Washington, who was phenomenal as a redshirt freshman in 2023, can actually snap the football. That helps Jaden Roberts. Many of the Alabama fans know how I feel about Jaden Roberts, and I would expect Elijah Pritchett to get a look at that right tackle spot. You're all of a sudden looking at an Alabama offensive line that I think 2 or 3 weeks ago we had some massive question marks about. And now we're looking at an Alabama offensive line that I think truly could be one of the better units that we see in the country. You combine that with the young talent at the wide receiver position. You combine that with Kalen DeBoer designing this offense. Alabama fans have a ton to be excited about heading into that 2024 year. We're going to continue to cover this one. I mean, Alabama fans largely familiar with a guy like Kaden Proctor. Wanted to hop on, kind of highlight why I think this is such massive news for Alabama. Appreciate you guys rocking with the fellas. If y'all do enjoy the content, consider subscribing to the channel, and we'll talk to y'all later.